Reduced X, also 1988 though, so nice. Gotta represent. I'm not looking forward to Trinity 25, I have to say. Not because of age or anything, but just because I don't really care about birthdays. Like, I know a lot of people say they don't, and it's kind of like a passive-aggressive thing where it's like, I really hope you make a big deal of my birthday if I'm going to say I don't. For me, it's like, my perfect birthday is if my best buddy and I go out to lunch, maybe, like, I don't know, see a movie or something, just hang out. Like, I don't make a big deal of birthdays.
Yeah, I didn't really care for my last birthday. Whatever, just kind of hung out at home, played video games, like you said. But
Every
it's
girl I
just like
know, a gamer or not, they make such a big deal of their birthdays, and it always befuddles me. I'm just like, why?
it's girls.
Well, the irony I find of that too is because they make such a big deal about age. Like, there's not a lot of guys who care about their age, right? But it's always girls who are like, oh yeah, I'm totally 24. Like,
This is true, Rifkin. This is quite true.
well, getting into this, guys, spawning here in the lower right corner of Ohana is going to be the yellow Protoss ExesNSE.
And in the upper left-hand corner of the map, in the orange trunks, he's the Zerg player. Rifkin's heard him before. I have not. Excited to see what he can do. Saltthewound.
Yeah, well, I've only cast him a couple times in the past, but he won all the games that I cast. So I quite frankly have no idea whether he's a top-notch player or not, or he just got lucky. Still a newer name. He's not someone we quite frequently see in Zotacs, but I believe 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago maybe-ish, I want to say off the top of my head, saw him in either Zotac or Go for StarCraft. Don't know which off the top of my head. I'm a terrible guy like that. I've got the reverse... What is the opposite of like an elephant's memory? I forget everything.
As you can tell, I suffer from the same symptoms, so I don't know, Rifkin.
You ever see the movie Memento?
Yes.
Okay, for those who don't know, by the way, Memento is a movie where a guy, he lost his short-term memory, or sorry, his long-term memory, he can only remember things in short bursts. That's how I kind of feel sometimes when casting StarCraft. Really great games will stick with me, but every game we cast is like, I won't remember it for about half an hour.
Yeah, this is true. And I mean, with so much StarCraft 2, good StarCraft 2 now popping up these days in VOD format, I'm struggling to even like remember GSL games that recently have happened. Like SPL games kind of take a little bit of a forefront there, and even then, like I can't remember every single one of those that I watched. So
Ooh,
it's getting confusing, and I'm having trouble. But
I just want to point out,
what are you gonna do?
we have Gateway and Cybernetics Core first coming out of NSE, not the Forge Fast Expand.
Yeah, I like seeing this.
I like this a lot.
Protosses.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not a coward. That's basically what he's doing here.
And Syndicate Boss, we can't look at their things right now, but as we get closer to the grid, pretty much everyone that's not Masters or higher gets filtered out just by process of elimination. So I would have to imagine both these guys are at least Masters, to say the least. We'll wait and see, obviously. Now, you heard Doom and I get a little excited about this, and let's explain why. Not a lot of Protoss players go for that Gateway first. A lot of people go for the Forge Fast Expand. It's economic, it's safe, and quite frankly, there's no reason not to do it unless you want to be hyper-aggressive. And right now with the Stalker Zealot Poke, if he gets out across the field, yeah, there's going to be a couple Zerglings, but that's it, a couple Zerglings. A Zealot can deal with a couple Zerglings. However, a Stalker following this up, he might pick off a Queen, he might get some workers too, and Saltthewound might be so used to playing one particular way that he could get caught off guard really badly by this.
Yeah, now the Zealot's moving across the map, and this is going to put a little bit of pressure on the Zerg here to say, oh, I can't actually use my Lings to go across and scout you, so I'm going to have to use Overlords. I'm going to have to rely primarily on that to get a good read on what you're trying to do. And yes, and NSE is basically saying, I'm taking map control, man.
There's only going to be 6 Zerglings, maybe 5, to deal with this, and a Stalker can kite slow Zerglings all day. Speed is nowhere close to being done. Can he get the Queen? If he gets a Queen here, this will actually be a huge victory for him.
Good. A couple of Lings have joined the fray down at the natural. 2 more will pop. And here we go.
Right,
Zealot needs to get in the front.
Yes, I was going to say, the Prov can't be the one tanking. Alright, so this is just a poke, by the way, guys. This is not dedicated. This isn't even all in. He's got a Nexus coming up behind this. He's getting some proper infrastructure. But the thing is, this is now a threat. And Saltthewound is forced to make more Zerglings than he wanted to. Those were Zerglings that could have been drones. But more importantly, yeah, I would really like to see him get some actual damage done. But NSE is being forced to just kind of go back home, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all he can really do. Taking that Nexus is going to become the next step in the game here. Dropping down the Forge and the Stargate. What's he going to do with that Stargate? That's been scouted already.
Yeah, I mean, the Overlord sees it, but it's a Stargate. Really, what can you do other than make Hydralisks to deal with Phoenixes? I mean, you get Spore Crawlers down, you do Queens, maybe Infestors if that's going to be your choice, but without the 4 gas, without really any gas, he's got 1 gas going, Saltthewound's going to be very hard-pressed to deal with this.
So here's something I really like to do in StarCraft 2 is that's force the opponent to build units that you want them to build. So by going for a Stargate, yes, you can potentially force Hydras out of here. Will he actually go Hydras? I don't know. The only other choices he can actually do would be Mutas or Infestors, but it's okay. Maybe we're blanketing the entire board, but what if you can able to force out the units from the opponent that are the units that you want to see, and you already have a game plan constructed to counter those units, well then, you're more likely going to be charging towards victory in that sense.
You'll have control of the game, and that's more important than anything else.
Yes, players who can do that and incorporate that into their style of play, you know, it makes me happy to see, and it makes me really think that they're an intelligent individual who strives to win and achieve victory. But it is going to be Phoenixes, the initial choice here, going to scope out and take out Overlords.
Guys,
Roachworn going down for Saltthewound. What?
I think Doom's just really excited to see Phoenixes.
I like Void Rays better about what you're going to do.
I like both of them, and that's probably why I can never distinguish one from the other. That's probably my biggest flaw. Like, of any race, of any matchup, of any mix-up, it's always Phoenixes and Void Rays in my brain. Now,
what are you going to do when now there's like Oracles and Tempests joining in?
Well, that's actually, they're completely different mechanically, so it's not, I don't know, whatever. I'll probably still mix them up.
Well, so are Phoenix and Void Rays.
Well, I was going to say, I'll probably still mix them up, so it's all good. Now, we do have 4 gas coming down. Infestation Pit going to be the weapon of choice here. I like this choice, because if you go for Mutalisks, you're going to lose. Phoenixes can beat Mutalisks very easily, too. Now, we got a Spine Crawler down. Sorry, a Spore Crawler. Whoa. He scouts the Infestation Pit, too, so I don't know if this will halt his production or not. He did only make 2 Phoenixes and no more. I think a lot of that was because he did, in fact, get scouted.
Yes, I mean, but it was scouted from the beginning, and he made them anyway. So, I don't know what NSE's overall plan is going to be here. Is going for Colossus, and that is going to be scouted out by Saltthewound, who's dropping the Overseer in. Will it actually see the Colossus Bay, though?
No, the Probe goes for that Zappy Zap. But yeah, the Overseer will probably get it now. He
had the Robotics Bay done, but went for the Immortal first before. And yeah, okay, now it's going to get that scout off. Seeing that Thermal Lance is being researched as well. Saltthewound's in a pretty good spot here with his 3rd base just about to be populated with these drones and the Infestor tech. But maybe his Spire would have been a little bit better here just simply for Corruptors.
Well, a lot of people, if you're going to go for that Spire, they usually typically get it just so they can eventually move to the late game of Bird Lords. But with these 2 Phoenixes on the field, I mean, these aren't really a waste. They can't do a lot. They can pick up some drones if they want, but they're cleaning up the Overlords around the map, and that's pretty big.
Let's see, Glob Reconstruction just about complete. Blink has just started here, and it looks like +2 attack weapons on the way for the Protoss player.
He picks up about 3 drones on the 3rd base as well. It does get out, but I mean, 3 drones is kind of nothing when you're playing against the Zerg. 67 workers to 56 to boot.
Yes.
And the Colossus is revealed even, so confirmation.
Yes. Confirmation indeed. Can probably safely assume that the 3rd base is going to go down. Why else would the Protoss player knock down those rocks in the back of the base? And this is a little peculiar spot for the Zerg because with the Colossus tech out, with no actual reaction beyond just the massive Infestors that he's starting to build, what's he actually going to be able to do against that? And especially with the Protoss moving up to that 3rd base, he doesn't look like he's taking a 4th, taking a 5th, things that he needs to start thinking about immediately. He's gone for the macro hatch, which means I think he wants to get aggressive.
Oh, dude, this is kind of cool. He's put a very forward Spore Crawler, and I was trying to figure out what that was for, but I just realized that's in the perfect spot to snipe observers, if one were to be on the way. But NSE, unfortunately, I don't think he even has any on the field.
Yeah, and NSE, but NSE's done a great job at locking down and taking map control without observers here. He's killed every single Overlord on the map. This is not something we often see here, and Saltthewound is confined strictly to the position of his creep and his hatcheries.
He's also been supply blocked several times for long amounts of time in this game. Now we got him starting to move out. He's got like a handful of all sorts. He's got a handful of Zerglings, a handful of Roaches, and a handful of Infestors. Really, I don't know that he can do much with this, though. There are sentries here to go for those force fields. There's 3 Colossus with extended thermal lance, I believe, finished. Yep, so I don't
He's got to
know.
keep the infestors alive if he wants to get aggressive. That's his only chance. And with, I mean, NSE's composition now, 3 Colossus, Rifkin, that's going to melt every single Ling and melt every single Roach before they even have a chance to get on top of them.
Yeah, not to mention there is an Immortal there too to help shell away at the Roach count.
Yeah, with +2. So it's looking good for NSE, and he's adding on gateways, building up his infrastructure. Let's see, perhaps a little bit more gateways right at this point, and making a move towards that 4th base.
Well, Saltthewound is continuing to push out little bit by little bit, kind of just following his creep around. Doesn't want to get caught out of position. He's playing this very smart.
He's definitely reclaimed the map control by taking and assuming the position by the Zelniger watchtowers. But the Phoenixes are going to get out and scout and see that this army is trapped. Are there a lot of sentries with this army composition? Nope, just 2 that I can see. Yep,
Yeah,
only 2 on the map.
I feel like he's putting a lot of production into Colossus, a lot of production into Stalkers, but what he really needs to have is more force fields if he's going to fight in the open. If he fights at home, can get a good position against the wall, different story. But right now, as he moves out, this is not looking good for him.
Well, 7 Corruptors on the way. Should be able to handle those Colossus now. Without a doubt. Even 1 Muta joining in.
The grab bag strategy.
Okay, War Prism from NSE, this is good. He needs to start getting a little aggressive if he's not going to be making these forward pushes. But taking this 4th base, that's a pretty bold response just to say, hey, Saltthewound, you're going to go for 4th base, I'm going to go for 4th base at the same time. You have to go more bases than me, otherwise I'm just going to keep up with you, and you can't do it. I have shields, man. Alright, but wait. Rifkin, look at this huge flank that Saltthewound's preparing.
Yeah, he's going to come from all sides, and this is the problem of not having those sentries. If he hits from multiple angles, NSE cannot keep him away, and it's really going to affect his army. I really want him to add, like, not even 2 or 3, but like 4 more sentries to this army, Doom. Now, Saltthewound is maxed at this point. He can start throwing units away. He's got Corruptors, he's got Infestors. I mean, this is Zerg, man. We got Dark Shrine on the way, probably for some for Archons, as we do have the Fleet Beacon on the way, so we might just see that Mothership composition.
Look at this Protoss traffic jam at the 3rd base with the pinching of the pylons here. They're just like filtering through.
Well, these Phoenixes are very boldly pushing forward against that many Corruptors.
Yeah, the Dark Shrine's going to come into play.
Forward might actually catch a Infestor or 2 here, Doom. I'd like to see him lift 2 up. Not gonna
Those are full energy Infestors. That's not something
actually,
you want to be losing.
That's really unfortunate. The blink forward is going to get fungled.
Oh, he's on top of creep.
This could get dicey. There are 5 bases up for Saltthewound, though. I mean, like, he's going to have larva production. He's even got a macro hatchery at the main. If he loses this army, he's just going to resupply it. And that's the kind of the beauty of Zerg. They have throwaway units.
NSE did not see the 4th base up. I don't know if he's just assuming that Saltthewound's stuck on 3 base at this point, but he's actually taking a 5th on the left side of the map as well. NSE just starting his 4th base here. I'm not sure if Saltthewound's aware that he has a Ling in the back to scout that out already. Setting in a couple of Lings there and letting them just die. Greater Spire is going to be morphed, and the Mothership's on the way as well, so
Broodlords,
here we go.
Man.
Late game ZvP, Rifkin.
Those Corruptors are going to happily become Broodlords shortly as the Greater Spire is on the way. Once those Broodlords hit the field, there's Blink Stalker, sure, but all he has to do is take out the Colossus to eliminate the Broodling effect.
Where did his War Prism go?
Oh no, Doom, look at the main base. The army is so out of position. Will he get this forward? He is going to snipe off that +3 armor upgrade. Might even get some more here as the infested Terrans are just, they might get a gateway or 2.
And the Ling's going to run by 4th base.
Yeah, cannons are going to do what they can, but really, NSE needs to cancel all of this.
Where is the Warp Prism? Did it get taken out? It had to have gotten taken out. I'm not seeing it anywhere on the field.
Dude, the main base was actually left alone. He's losing quite a bit here. Dark Templar coming in actually will clean this up. Nice choice here from NSE.
In the meantime.
Well, there's not a lot of mining going on here, really. Just the gas at this point. He really needs to secure another base, but he's just going to keep pushing out on the field. And Saltthewound does have his army, his main army back at him. And look at the Spinecrawler wall, Doom.
Yeah, this is the time to hit, right before Broodlords come out and right before the Spine wall comes out. And if he's able to get good engagement on those Infestors, oh!
I think that's like 14 Spines. I don't actually count that right now, but...
That is so many full energy Infestors, but he's going to get 2 for free. Small victories.
Oh, man, he's just trying
to do something, though.
The Fungals are just trying to buy time until the Spines are up.
But the thing is, Rifkin, I think if he takes down the 4th base, he doesn't need to engage those Spine Crawlers.
No, I agree entirely. Mothership has engaged, guys, so we have that cloak ready and available.
Does not have a vortex though. About 10 energy away.
Well, you know, actually, I don't think the Vortex is that scary yet, because the Broodlords are only just morphing in, and in doing so, actually loses a large amount of the Corruptors, so these Colossus don't really have a big threat.
Yeah, and there actually aren't a lot of Archons out in the field. He's very Stalker heavy, so that's actually one thing I'm worried for the Broodlord composition, but look how many Lings are out in the field, Rifkin. 128. Imagine if some of these were Banelings, or, I mean, I feel like they're just going to get squashed by the Colossus. It's like running Marines up against
such a big
Ultralisks.
engage. And you guys talking in the chat right now, the game is smooth, so unfortunately I guess that is just Twitch's end. Hit that little wrench on the bottom of the screen, hit the report, say that there are issues, and they will attend to it, but there's not much we can do about it. But for now, Saltthewound, ooh, trying to get in there with some Zerglings, not having any luck whatsoever.
A couple of DTs are going to get fungled immediately and taking them down. Great proactiveness there from Saltthewound. Man, this is when a War Prism would come in handy to drop into the main base to take out some of these tech structures for the Zerg player.
Look at the
he's got
banks,
some
man.
knowledge. Yeah, whoa. Whoa.
Look at the banks of both these guys. This is nuts.
Saltthewound's got the 4th base, Rifkin, but it's not mining. On the other hand here, NSE's 4th base is about to finish up, and it is well protected by a massive army. I mean, the 3rd base has been mining for a long time for him, but he does appear to have more mineral patches than the Zerg player. And taking out that 4th base has bought him some time in the matchup, but here we go.
Doom, there's
the
no neural.
Crash in.
There's no neural parasite. There's no way for him to deal with this mothership effectively, especially with such few corruptors on the field.
Ooh.
One good Vortex could change this around for NSE.
So
good, getting the Zerglings. That's not the one, no, sir. I mean, yeah, these Zerglings are going to die, but as they die, they're just going to make supply for Corruptors, which are really a bigger threat. So killing these Zerglings actually might hurt a little bit more than it would help.
Well, Phoenix are going to die.
Yeah, here we go. 10 Corruptors now, Doom. Armor upgrades, air upgrades. I mean, this is... War Prism finally on the field, so you got your wish. Hopefully we'll start seeing some tech going on. This Overlord dropping creep in the main of NSE. And, oh, wow, Saltthewound looking for an opening. Might just catch one. The Forge should...
Kind of an awkward position on that ramp. Oh.
I thought he was going to get the Forge, but got the armor upgrade, so that is secured. The Infestors are getting fried by the Colossus, though.
Yeah, gotta be very, very careful here. The Stalker count is still really high, Rifkin, 31. So is not completely out of the sketch.
The mothership is going to go down, but the Vortex goes down
Shield's
as well.
gone.
So the mothership's gone, but the Vortex got a lot of those Corruptors. He should be able to clean this up with some Blink Stalkers, but it's the Broodlords that are so scary right now.
All the Infestors are in the Vortex, so he doesn't have a lot of fungals available to him.
He's trying to corrupt everything right now, Doom, but he's losing his army to these Blink Stalkers. The Corruptors are going to take... The Corruptors are going to take out the Colossus, but who cares? Because he doesn't need them anymore.
Oh my god, that was so devastating for the Zerg player. Lost his entire ground army. No Infestors remain on the field. The Protoss still has so much on the ground, and yeah, he's got a bunch of Corruptors, but where's the rest of his stuff? He's making 12 Infestors now, but this 4th base is going to be assaulted once again. If he moves across to the 5th base and takes that out, he'd be in a great spot, but he doesn't even need to. He can actually subvert the Spine Crawlers over here.
Dude, I'm totally shocked that he completely, like, without Archons, annihilated that. Remaking a mothership behind this.
Free Broodlords for breakfast too, if he was so inclined. But
Saltthewound wants to get into one of these bases with some Zergling run-bys, but with like 8 cannons down, there's no chance that that's going to happen.
No, I think NSE is fine. He's locked up his 4th base. He's mining off it beautifully at this point. Looking at the infrastructure of the economy here, he's got way more mineral income than the Zerg. The Zerg feels like this base over here really is a little flimsy.
Yeah, these Dark Templar are trying to get in there, but
it's not spread over to it.
Yeah, this is looking worse and worse for Saltthewound. He has used his bank, but in doing so, he hasn't fully remaxed.
Yep. This is just really patient play from NSE. Methodical movements, being great with his defense, and never giving Saltthewound an opportunity to catch him off guard.
He's done this whole game without an observer too. I mean, quite frankly, that's kind of really weird.
So the units we got to watch for, of course, are going to be the Infestors. If they can lock down the Stalkers, prevent them from blinking out, then Saltthewound's still going to have a chance in this game. There's one big fungal.
Losing the Infestor for it, though, not a good trade. And the thing is, he's still got no neural parasites. Once that mothership goes back out, how's he going to deal with it? He just can't.
Well, the other thing he's got to worry about is the 6 Archons in the composition for NSE. This is a Protoss ball of death, Rifkin. This is like horrifying to be staring across the field at.
The thing
And these
is,
infestors
like,
are being so bold, man.
the way to beat this army is not to engage it head on. You need to completely rip your opponent apart. Hit the 4th base while you have his opponent at the 5th type thing. I mean, right now there's just too much for him to engage head on, and in doing so, yeah, that Blink Forward's gonna catch these Broodlords, Doom.
Oh, man. Great focus firing of the Broodlords. But the Fungals are
Oh,
good.
no, the
They've left
Infestors-
Stalkers in place.
But the Infestors are so out of position, they get annihilated by the Colossus! And without those Infestors, the gas bank is there, but the mineral count's not. GG!